War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Delcoro.
Happy Monday, everybody. The worst part of the day is over.
That's right.
Mike? Yes. And I'm your host, Eric Vanderlaan of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and your team leader of War Party Paranormal. And right to my side,
my name is Mike Delcoro. I am an investigator with War Party Paranormal, your co-host, and we got a great show for you guys tonight. And I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
Yes, we do. As our people, I was almost going to say it, Mike. As our people know, KGRA is working with Paraflix, and we got a show called The Haunted Files on Paraflix. So we're going to be trying to bring in guests from our Paraflix family, right, Mike?
That's right.
So we got a great guest. We have Matt Vilade. He directed, produced, was an actor of Haunted Roots on Paraflix, and it was a story, the real story about the Devil's Tree, the New Jersey Devil's Tree. And Mike, we got one down here too.
We do.
But anyway, yeah, we do. And yeah, it's a really cool story. If you guys have Paraflix, check out Haunted Roots, and it's a great documentary. So I got a little trailer that Matt gave me, so you guys can get a little sneak peek. You want to see it?
Awesome.
Mike?
Let's check it out.
All right, here we go.
All right, if there's any spirits here tonight that would like to communicate with me and Will, I just wanted to set some ground rules first. Will and I are friendly. We're not here to hurt you. We want to talk to you, and we want to figure out who you are and who has been haunting this house.
There are stories, hence the term devil. I'm sure it's not a very pleasant connotation.
He killed his family here at this tree.
There's a white pickup truck that follows you with its headlights on.
He killed himself and his family at the tree while out picnicking. People being hung on the tree.
The youth has certainly picked it up. They want to test the paranormal.
Let's see if we can get this door open.
Will, do you have any questions about anything that may have happened in this?
Pretty cool.
Looks awesome.
Right. Hey, I'm pretty good, getting pretty good at this. I forgot to switch mics. I was doing it to the intro.
Oh, you sound good.
All right. That's why I sound better, people. So anyway, without further ado, let's bring in Matt.
All right.
Bam. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Eric, Mike, Paraflix family. Hello. How are you? I hope you can hear me okay. Everybody can hear me?
Yep, perfectly.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much for having me on. And just, it's funny watching that trailer. I remember sitting in that room, and I'm actually getting chills. Just thinking about that moment again. That moment gets me again every time I see it. It's like falling off a bike and you scraped your knee, and then you see other people scrape their knee and you can feel it,
Right.
I still feel that night, man. It's still fresh.
So this is like a story that's very personal to you. You've actually been there and lived it and experienced it, right?
Yeah. What's funny is I had married into the family that owned the property of the Devil's Tree. And the farmhouse. At one point it was one large, really piece of property that was owned by a landowner, but then a family had come in and bought both pieces, so it kind of stayed intact the way it had historically always been, since its almost original times. And so I heard every story about the Devil's Tree, from the first guy who ever walked outside and saw a woman worshiping the devil to the last time, the county put the fence up and said this is all over, so we've been there the whole time. So
Wow.
it's really
So it's like,
it's our story. It's
Right.
the people in the town and the caretakers and all the people that have lived on that property over the past, really 60. So gosh, the clock is turning so fast now. 60, 70 years now. That have been protecting that property, and it was.
There's a haunted ghost truck that protects the property, right? That's what
It,
people claim.
yeah, there sure is, and I know the ghost truck very, very well. I don't want to have any spoilers, but when you check out Haunted Roots on Paraflix or Amazon Prime, you'll find out the actual dead truth of the New Jersey Devil's Tree. No messing around, no anything. We went back and we found guys that used to party there in high school who are 75 years old now, who we sat down with and said, what the hell is going on up there? Tell us everything you know. And we talked to dozens of people over from when I was a kid to 2019 and 20 when we were up there asking questions. Everybody knows the stories. Everybody knows what's going on up there. All the locals know. It's just everybody from out of town who doesn't know. And
where exactly in New Jersey is it?
it's in Somerset County, New Jersey, and it's in a town called Basking Ridge off of Mountain Road. And so it's still there today. It is beaten down and a little old. We showed you in the film. It is definitely on the back nine, that tree. So I don't even know how much longer it's going to be there. So another reason why we wanted to do the story.
Is it close to Newark Airport?
You can hop right on Route 78 and be to Newark Airport in 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. And is that like on the way to like Pennsylvania, or is it on the other side?
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm asking is Mike and I are going there. Maybe we'll do a little
that's
drive
why I
by.
started laughing.
Yeah. He knows what I was getting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you come out of the airport, and you're taking Route 78 out to Pennsylvania, you're going to go right through Basking Ridge, and really, if you're going to Pennsylvania, there's going to be an opportunity for you to maybe stop there.
Okay, great.
We're heading up. We're heading up for the Gettysburg Bash, and then we're going to be filming an episode for Paraflix at another location in the area, and then heading over there. So,
awesome.
So when did you decide? Like, all right, you know what? This is a story that I got to get out there. I got to tell people. We got to document this, and we got to show people what's going on, and maybe debunk or show what's actually happening here and get this out to people.
Wow. Okay. So there's actually two parts to this. When I was living there, I had actually reached out to people to tell them about this and what was going on, and they kind of, I don't know, they kind of browbeat me and kind of laughed at me a little bit and said, "Hey, we're not in the ghost busting business." But I said, "Well, the trick is about the tree is a wonderful story, but the house has so much paranormal activity, it's out of control." So when people talk about that property and the haunting and everything, Farmer Nick, people getting killed and stuff, they missed the big story at the house. And I was literally sleeping one night at home, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I started thinking about the house, right? So I really called Will and said, "Hey, Will, I'm thinking about calling the owner of this place and doing really like an episode. Maybe if it's really good, we can turn it into somebody that can see it, blah, 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 that sort of talk." And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was thinking about the project, talked to Will. I call up there, and the family that owns it currently said, "Well, you better hurry up. They just started tearing it down yesterday."
Oh, wow.
Wow, weird.
So the correlation of me having that dream and the first day of them tearing it apart, when I haven't been there in 12, 15 years, really honestly, haven't thought about it at all. dead honest, haven't thought about it at all. And one night I
Right.
just wake up and I'm like, man, that old creepy house, something's going on. I got to tell my story. I've been sitting on this, paranormal experience I had for a long time. I've told my family and friends and people that have been there, and everybody that's been there
You
has just
crazy.
said, yeah, everybody that's been there has said, oh yeah, you too. And everybody has never been there has said, you're crazy. So,
But
And that's where
what's funny? That's funny that you say that, because it's almost like it was reaching out to you to tell my story. Like,
it was
hey,
calling
it's
you.
getting ready to get torn down. It usually things like this, paranormal talks and subtleties, and for it to be, a coincidence like that is weird. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, just like you said. So
it was the guy just said, hey, they started tearing it apart. He sent me pictures, and I was like, holy shit, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can,
you're right.
excuse me, beep, but I got equipment and ran up there that weekend, filmed everything I could, right? And then this is the weird part. Came home and I didn't really see much, didn't really have anything, and I'm like, Will, I don't have a show. I went up there and tried to do it myself. I did a nice documentary. It's pretty cool, but it really sucks. Can you get in the car and come back up with me real quick? And then Will and I ran back up, and I think for what we had no money, no crew, no anything. We were really under. They are ripping the house out from under you while you're filming this damn thing. Hurry up, sort of vibe, It was raining. It was thunder. When we got there, there were people there. There were people on the property checking out the tree. We're like, what do we do first? Do we go film them, or are we filming the house? And
You got your eyewitnesses.
yeah, and it's just like literally we get there and the place is just going already, just like old times. It just never skipped a beat. And everything was against us. And then somehow, it all worked out. We actually filmed an ending because we didn't know what happened in the house. We were filming, we were talking, we didn't have immediate feedback. Nobody's in the truck, nobody's producing, nobody's saying, hey, Matt, I saw something. Hey, Matt, I heard something. We really didn't have time to go back and forth. And it was,
Right.
I don't want to say a rush job, but it wasn't our best effort because we were really under the gun.
Mhm.
And I told Will, I said, this isn't going to be Paranormal on Demand, man. What do you think? We're just going to walk in here and shit's going to happen? I'm like, who do we think we are? And we walk in, we film this whole thing, we look over stuff, and we didn't really see much. And we filmed an ending while we were there. And we said, well, I'm sorry we didn't film anything. It was a wonderful experience, a wonderful place. We had a great time. In our minds saying this is really going to suck. And then we went home and we really scrubbed, and we were just finding stuff that, we had just had no idea was actually happening when it was happening. So
That's how it happens.
Rookie mistakes, and one of those things is we want to come back and do it better. And maybe, I don't know if you want to lead into this announcement or anything, or did I just kill it for you?
No, not at all. So like you're not really a paranormal investigator, you're a filmmaker.
Yeah, I'm a storyteller. I love to tell documentaries, and this happened to be my story that happened to be paranormal. But my whole life, I've been having what would you say, interactions and run-ins with unexplainable things since I was a child. Great story. We lived in a suicide house growing up. I had no idea that this place was a suicide house. My mom's upstairs one night. She
What do you mean
wakes
by
up.
suicide house?
Well, the former owner decided to kill himself in the basement, and it was really like a bad movie. He killed himself in the basement. They don't tell anybody. The widow sells it for a song and a dance, too cheap. And so my family's like, well, we can't really afford to live in this area anyway. Look at this place; it's so cheap. Let's do it. Not telling us that stuff happened. Guess at that point in time, we didn't have to disclose it in the 80s, or
yeah, it depends on the state.
yeah.
Like Florida, you don't have to disclose if there was a death in the home.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting there, 8 years old, and one of the first times I'm there, I'm walking down the hallway, and I look into the laundry room, and there is a really a man standing there wearing a plaid shirt and jeans, and he looks like my uncle. And I walk by, and I'm like, holy shit, my Uncle Nick's here. And I go back, and it's gone, and I dismiss it. I'm 8 years old, run to the bedroom, get under the covers, and I am in my super safe zone, and nothing can ever touch me.
I thought you were going to say your Superman pajamas.
But
Nobody can touch me, damn it.
So this happens over time. I always feel I'm being watched. I mean, I always have that damn feeling like I had in that house.
You have senses.
Yeah, and
you have the feels.
It happens. It happens so often to me, and I dismiss it so often that it's crazy. And one night, my mom is upstairs, and she starts screaming bloody murder. Right, so I'm running up the stairs, and she says, "Boom, boom." And she said, "By the time I heard your footprints, your foot, coming to the door, your beats of your feet, it was gone." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "A man in a plaid shirt and blue jeans just walked out of the mirror."
Oh,
and
wow.
And I didn't tell her this.
Damn, I want to see shit like that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I would have peed.
And she's
myself.
like, and then we found out well later after I graduate high school that this guy had killed himself in the basement, and we kept seeing this gentleman. I don't want to yell out his name to protect the family, whatever, but
Yeah.
we kept seeing this gentleman. My mom later on got remarried, and the stepfather came down, and he walked into the laundry room, and guess what he saw? And we've never told him a damn thing about it. And he walks in, and there's the damn guy in the flannel and the jeans that looks like my uncle. So.
Well, it's funny. People say that mirrors can be portals. We used to have a medium who used to do cleansing for us, and the first thing she would do is cover all the mirrors.
Cover the mirrors.
I believe it. I really, I get in a room, and I've known I've been an empath my whole life. That's something that you can't hide. You can't, I'm an empath. I feel things. I feel energy. And maybe why I feel energy different is because I told you guys I was born without sight.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
No,
yeah,
you didn't tell us. No.
By the time I got to kindergarten, they noticed that I was badass blind, like one eye off and the other eye 2400. So I wasn't seeing a thing. I had been operating.
But you got a monster drive on the golf course.
Yeah, I could always, they always called me Bam Bam. Like my mom always said, whatever you would pick up and propel, it would go. You're a little propulsion artist. She used to say, like baby Bam Bam. So baseballs and golf balls and whatever we need to propel, I always, excelled at, you can say. So
your eyesight improved like over the years, or did you have to have surgery or something like that?
I had 3 different surgeries, and so I had the thickest, biggest glasses, and was really completely blind in my left eye to my 30s. And then they started to develop techniques for clear.
You probably got some amazing hearing, right?
So yeah, I used to, but I guess
all that damn rock music.
Getting old. I guess as I'm getting older, as I'm getting older, I'm missing tones. But I remember when I was younger, I used to. This is really hard to explain. I used to like feel sound and see sound. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. There was actually a kid out there that's fully blind, like 100%, and he can actually, like a bat, make clicks with his mouth, like a radar, and hear it and tell how the distance of things. Yeah, it's really wild, and how your other senses heighten when you're missing one of the sentences.
That's a good tool for paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
And so I guess, like a story when, I went into that home, I'm going to call it the Bedminster home in New Jersey, where I always felt uncomfortable when I saw the man in the plaid. This house, I had the same feeling, but I walk into buildings and homes all the time and never have that feeling. But when I walk into certain places, it's like I'm wearing it. It's like somebody put a vest on, and it's tight in my chest, and I can actually sometimes like somebody squeezing me. Like
Yeah,
I
I know
feel
that sensation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you're wearing like a bulletproof vest or something like that.
pressure.
Or like when you
Yeah.
lay down, like the best way I can describe it almost, right? When I felt it, when I feel that is like, when you go get an x-ray and they put the lead
Yeah.
vest on your
Yeah.
chest and it's like just like heavy. Yeah. Wild.
And like, and I had been telling people, like, you don't, when you're younger, you don't tell your friends. You say, "Oh, I saw a ghost at my house." But I was at my friend's house one time at another place, and I walked upstairs, and I had clearly saw a woman standing upstairs. And I ran downstairs. I'm like, "Who is that woman upstairs?" And everybody's like, "Stop playing around," blah blah blah. And I was in DeLorean's mansion. Like I have a Forrest Gump life, dude. It's just if I say something weird like that, I was in John DeLorean's mansion, but I was walking upstairs, and I saw this Victorian woman pass me, and I was like, "Well," what the hell is that?" And I kept asking around, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's the ghost of Mrs. Copperthwaite. She runs the upstairs. XYZ, and she lives upstairs because there was a story about them losing the farm and people dying and blah blah blah, like every other story. But only one other person had seen it, and I had no idea about it. And then this woman came up and said, "Yeah, I've actually seen it before, and other people have reported it." But they said, "You're telling Ed and Billy and Jim, and they can't see it. They're idiots." But yeah, but she's up there. But so I've had so many different encounters in my life that I just had to stop ignoring it. And the fact was, I wanted to go back to this particular house because I wanted to prove what I saw, what I saw, what I was feeling every day I lived there is what was happening. And
Right.
there wasn't a screw loose.
How old were you when you were living there?
Uh, 27 and 28. Like I was
Okay.
an older guy. Wait, gosh, see, time flies. So yeah, I was in my mid-20s.
Okay.
So, um, yeah. So it's not like I was a kid or anything. I was, and I don't drink or anything, or so it didn't help. It wasn't a Budweiser fueled event, or I couldn't, just
No,
say.
but I feel that, you're probably like a human REM pod. I feel like people who sense things, spirits are going to be more inclined to reach out to you because it's easier than like someone like Mike and I who aren't sensitive at all. We have to rely on equipment and other people.
Yeah, the way I describe it is almost like you're like a lighthouse, right? And if there's somebody on the other side of the veil that wants to get their name out, wants to get their message out or something, they're like, your aura, they can tell. They're like, oh man, this guy can hear us. Or see us. Let's go talk to him. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why I feel like some people that are clairvoyant or have connections to the other side, that they tend to see, hear, and feel more than somebody else because of the fact that they're actually seeking them out to get their word out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the last time we went in that house, because when the environment's disturbed as it was, it's gonna make energy, and the ghosts are gonna, if there's any time they're gonna reveal themselves, it would be like in a storm like that when the house is being torn apart, and it was really
Yes.
just the perfect storm
Mm-hmm.
of energy we had that night.
Yeah,
And
renovations, house being torn down, that gets active, and then plus you add the barometric pressure, the static electricity in the air from a storm. It's not just from like old scary movies when it's like it was a dark and
No,
stormy
yeah,
night.
because
It,
we had
it
a Coco
actually,
example of that.
yeah, we've actually documented that, Eric and I, a couple times, like
Yeah,
checking
we
barometric
investigated.
pressure.
We investigated doing a tropical disturbance, and it was like one of the most active nights we ever had. It was wild. We were there till like 5:30 in the morning.
and and we used to see, since then I had to learn about paranormal, and I had to learn about different things. And one of the things that I learned most about were like orbs and stuff. And I was looking at pictures of orbs and stuff, and then I read that
These
orbs,
people are wrong.
yeah, orbs on still shots aren't considered captures of paranormal evidence anymore.
There's a diagram in a camera instruction booklet, the Sony CyberShot. It has a diagram explaining how orbs are caused.
So I guess that's why, they said that no more still shots count. And one of the reasons why I kept what we had on in the movie is because there were the orbs flying around the room, which could have been a camera anomaly. But at the same time it happened and I didn't know what was going on, as soon as it came in contact with me, I told everybody, hey, I feel something. So that validated that it wasn't some camera anomaly. And we brought it to people to look at, and we can't figure out how it happened.
But I would say there's a difference between orbs and then a light anomaly. That's what I like. If it's dust or things like that, you can almost tell right away, right? But if you see a light, like a ball of light that's doing something erratically that you could tell is not like a dust orb or something like that, then yeah, there is light.
I always keep a spray bottle of Pledge in my toolbox to eliminate that. So people know.
What was funny, it only happened. The family that lived there was there for a very long time, and I lived there with the family. And then when I started mentioning certain people in the family, that's when things started to happen weird. We were there for hours and hours and hours, and just nothing was happening, and we felt like such idiots. And I'm like,
that's the game.
I'm like, none of this is working, and we're trying so hard. And man, I'm telling you the truth, Will. I'm not a crazy bastard. I'm not a crazy old bastard. And then, I just really had to sit down, and I was sitting on the toilet, actually, where I just went
That's
to the room.
The best ideas come.
Yeah, I just went to the room. That's so funny. I just went to the room where I always felt the most uncomfortable, and it was the bathroom. Every time I went to go take a shower, I was like, there is somebody in here. It's driving me crazy. And with cameras and orbs and things, is I believe that the human eye can only see so many things in front of you.
Right.
And the camera will pick up different types of energy and things that
just like audio as well.
Like
microphones can pick up different frequencies. Yeah,
absolutely. Because we're only seeing a limited field of what really exists in front of us.
Right.
So, which is kind of awesome, I guess. It's kind of makes us naive to what's going on and protects us a little bit, I guess. But it's really awesome what is going around. It's like when you put on infrared or heat cameras or things we can't see that present in completely different manners.
Yep, definitely. Yep.
It's really cool. But I want to tell everybody, if anybody's still watching, because I've been talking too much, that's okay.
No,
that's the whole point. It's a radio. It's a radio show. You're supposed to be talking.
Matt, take the show over.
So, welcome to Paranormal Hour with Matt. Our guests are Mike and
there
Eric
you go.
From South Florida, Will Party Paranormal.
People don't know this, but you're a golf announcer, so you got the voice.
So yeah, I did some ring announcing and stuff for different combative sports. So I love to go in and say, Eric the Crusher, and stuff like that. Sometimes you make up names, like when you saw Spider-Man. I thought
body slam Mike a few times.
Funny, yeah. It's funny when you
picked me up right over his head.
After that, I couldn't walk for a week.
Oh my god! Yeah, I can't imagine, man. When you were 17, you could make a move like that, and walk around like a hummingbird. Like after it didn't happen, but you feel like a wounded bear after that the next day. Now.
So we're at that point in the show, Matt, where we got to pay some bills, right, Mike?
That's right. Yeah, we got to get over to a couple quick commercial breaks, and we'll be right back.
All right, man.
What is up, my paranormal peeps? You may be wondering why we're holding something like these in our hand, and my buddy's going to tell you all about it.
The reason that we have this paranormal equipment in our hand is because we're giving a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, one of our sponsors. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
That's right, and you may have seen some of these equipment on your favorite paranormal TV shows.
Exactly, especially the Haunted Files on Paraflix.
Mike's got that right.
All right, guys, so check them out, and if you use the code word Ghost Gone Wild,
not Girls Gone Wild,
Ghost Gone Wild, in your checkout, you'll get a discount on your purchase. Thank you, guys.
Peace. What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease. So hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how did we do?
We did awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that. People are going to be needing some fuel up because there's a strong heat wave going across America right now.
There sure is.
Go sign up, people.
And also, guys, if you're not aware, we have a show on Paraflix called The Haunted Files. We have a new episode coming out in July. Eric, what is it, the 19th?
19th, Friday 19th.
All right, cool. So, yeah, July, Friday, the 19th, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just a little heads up, like basically we have a local cemetery that we kind of frequent. It's more of like our training grounds, you know, like where we'll bring some of our new team members, different things.
We got training grounds, people.
And we've captured some really remarkable evidence at this place. And here you go. Check it out.
Stained glass window with the Star David on it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody rapped on that window. So immediately up with the flashlight, checking it out.
Proud to say our co-founder Zap is going to be making a little cameo appearance there.
That's right.
Whether he likes it or not.
That looks good.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Some crazy EVPs, some crazy stuff was going on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that over with. So now we can jump back into it.
Yeah. You know what? The Ghost Hunter store.
Yes, sir.
Right, man. That's where I bought my first SB7.
Yeah, man. Dave Giuliano is the owner. And him and his wife, and they're super great people.
Mm-hmm.
He's demonologist, been in the game for 20-something years. They're like one of the first physical stores that were selling paranormal equipment. So, yeah, we're honored to work with him, and he gives us a lot of our equipment that we use on the show, and he's super, super great guy.
Awesome,
man. You know what's going to be awesome is I'm gonna maybe we'll get him excited as well at the Ghost Hunter store. Is I had some news that I wanted to tell you guys about Haunted Roots as well.
Okay.
So I had talked to Will, and Will wants to come back and put together Team Haunted Roots again and do another project. So that was exciting, big news that we're going to make some more stuff
Awesome.
with Paraflix. And,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
you know, the way we are, we want to make it better than last time, you know, cleaner, better. Of course, bring the best products that we possibly can. And this time we have a little bit more firepower, a little bit more talent, a couple more years of editing and skill behind us. And man, a lot more equipment.
Yeah,
And
so we're going
that
to be collaborating. People don't know that. We'll be collaborating on something
yeah,
soon.
and that's the second part of the part B of the news is we asked Eric and Mike if they wanted to do a crossover with Haunted Roots, and so I think that's going to be really exciting. And
Hell yeah, we have plenty of equipment, and we're always game. That's for sure.
Yeah, and like what I was saying before is like it's just a two-man show. So it'll be nice to have someone filming us for a change and us filming each other. And just focusing on the investigating.
What's really awesome is like I told you guys briefly, Will has been in California since we left each other. He's been in California working on shows that we watch every day. And he just finished a home improvement show. And I guess I caught him at the right time when I called, because I've been calling him and kind of poking him a little bit. Let's do some more paranormal stuff. Let's go. We can build something. We can put together a good show.
Home improvement's boring. Why do you want to be doing that?
Hey, you got to pay the bills, man.
He said, I would love to do another project. He said, tell Eric and Mike I'll come down and show run the project. So they can be talent and do their thing. And, I would come in and produce and direct. And that's what producers like me do, is I find really awesome people like you and find awesome, talented people like Will. And we put them together. And then I, get a little creative, and
awesome. Hell yeah.
See what we can come up with.
James said that he'll be our equipment carry boy.
So who said that?
He'll be our equipment carry boy. That's right, James.
Well, the cool thing is we're going to ask you, maybe to bring a somebody with you. So if you have a clairvoyant or somebody you want to bring with you to feature, because we would love to do a segment. Will and I were talking already, and we would love to do a segment like that. So if you have somebody on your team that you're maybe thinking of with you,
we could definitely come up with somebody. That's for sure.
Yeah, pending on if we decide to do a jail or something, or a hotel or something, it'll be a pretty big crew. So we'll be able to include some people. Like if you want to cover multiple buildings and multiple things, we're going to try to be able to set that up as well. But we have a couple places that we're thinking of, and I wanted to talk to Mike and Eric about maybe some places that they have, and we're going to put together the best possible scenario where we can bring, I don't want to say the best product to Paraflix or the best product to the market, or we really want to put something out there that's good. We just, my fear is putting out like garbage, like I've taken stuff that I've built before, and people
there will be no garbage between the four of us.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to pump, what do you say? I don't want to pump up your Reeboks like we used to say back in the day, but I think you guys and us together can be almost like a Paraflix all-star team, a paranormal all-star team. I really do.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we got what it takes, because if you were going to put together, the dream team, you'd have the guy that shoots lights out, the guy that's the techie, the guy that's the, you put together your four guys, the storyteller, the host, and you put together your little dream team. And I think we got something pretty cool, and the Ghost Hunter store is going to love it. I'm going to tell you right now. That when they watch, they're gonna love that we're gonna feature their equipment a lot, and we're gonna let you guys go crazy a little bit. And
that's one thing we got a bunch of.
Can't wait.
We're gonna bribe Dave Giuliano with mojitos to come down here. Mojitos
I promised him a fishing trip. So
bikini clad women.
So let me ask you two a question.
Sure.
If you had a crew and you had somebody that wanted to come in and help you film something and let you guys, do your thing, what would be your dream place? Like if you could walk into and not have to worry about setting up cameras all day, if you could hold a camera in your hand and help us film where you're going, and not set up rooms and cameras and all that stuff, and just kind of be talent, where would you go? Where would you really concentrate your efforts?
The Mayan temple of Chichen Itza in just outside of Cancun, Mexico.
Wait. All right. So if we had to drive,
but in the U.S., in the U.S., you said the dream. That's my dream.
So then
it has to be like a crazy asylum.
Yeah,
that's one thing I haven't done.
Like Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum or something of that nature.
That's what I would love to, to really
something that's going to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah. And I really want to get together and do a dream project like that. Something that maybe we thought we couldn't tackle, because I keep saying, man, I'd love to do this, but it's hard to tackle with two dudes and a
well, Mike guy. And I, we like to push our limits, like for
that's what we
the fear factor. Like now we're doing isolations. Like the last trip we went on, it was Joe, Mike, and I, and we did the old hospital in College Hill, and we did the old South Pittsburgh hospital, and we had the whole place to ourselves, just the three of us. So it was cool because we could like separate, and like when you're all alone and no one's nearby and pitch black darkness.
Yeah, what we did is we put piece of paper in the hat, like literally floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, and shook it up, and all three of us picked the floor, and we all went to our own floor and sat up there for an hour in one of the spots, and it was crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
my awesome. My parents didn't know this, but I used to like timeout, so that didn't really bother
me. you know when
it's and I'm gonna admit it's very hard for me to get scared, like to be scared, and I don't know why. It's just me. Like it's very difficult for something to really scare me. So I try to see if I can have that. I try to pick the spookiest spot, the place where I feel like I'm going to get the most activity and see what's going to happen. And because I kind of say it like this, right? If you're a detective, and and I don't want to bash anybody or mention any. I'm not going to obviously mention any names or anything like that. But you see some of these people that film and do stuff, and they're screaming and they're running around. But if you're a detective or you're a police officer and you get called to a crime scene and you walk in there and you see something that's pretty nasty, you're gonna keep your composure, right? You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I feel that sometimes the paranormal kind of gets off that, and they look more towards the.
So if you see Mike running, you better be right behind him.
You better go. But yeah, it's more of like I mean, I'm not going to say I don't get scared. I'm saying it's tough. You know what I mean? Like, and we do. So, but yeah, no, we like to push the limits and not be just we keep being respectful to the spirits that are there and everything, but push our own limits.
Absolutely.
To tell you the truth, when something happens that's like outrageous and mind blowing, like a disembodied voice, or you see a shadow figure, like. I'm so skeptical that when it first happens, I'm in disbelief. I'm not scared. I'm like, did I just see what I just see? And it doesn't register into my brain.
Maybe seen you get a little scared a couple times. So Waverly Hills.
I don't like bats.
It's living. What happens? What's really weird is a great example when I went to the Queen Mary, right?
Nice.
We got all the way into the bowels of the ship, and we're literally by ourselves, no tour or anything. And I walk into this area, and I literally felt like I was gonna throw up. Something just made me absolutely like hardcore sick when I went in the room.
Where in the Queen Mary?
So towards the engine room, we went all the way down to the bottom, and started walking like towards the front.
Okay. And our last guest last week investigated the Queen Mary. That's what I was asking.
I didn't see, but we went in and we were, they only let you into it's really into the engine room, and we started walking out what I think is towards the front. I actually took pictures because I was like, I have to take a picture just in case. and I took a picture, and I felt like, I don't want to say I was drowning, but I felt that pressure again. And it was so much pressure that I thought I was going to actually throw up. So I don't, I can't,
Eric, we got to get there. We
explain it.
got to get there. Every guest that has ever talked about the Queen Mary on our show, or if we've been on their show and they've talked about it. Brandon Alves, yeah, Sophia
Temporelli,
yeah. I mean, we got to get out there.
I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but like, I haven't watched these guys, and I don't know like what they do, and like I've seen like Patty and you know, a couple other talents on Paraflix, and of course
the Haunted Files.
Haunted Files. I've seen just a couple different things. And what was I trying to say? Like the overnight stuff. I can't remember the darn Paranormal Lockdown. I used to watch that.
Yeah.
And the Zach show and stuff. And I wanted to do something that was different than like Zach's show.
Yeah.
You know, I can go in and play badass and bully some ghosts and say, "Oh, you like to kill people? You want to kill me? I got 24s. I'm rolling on them. Come on." You know, all that bullshit.
You don't have to do that though.
You know, I never understood why he was going in and trying to intimidate, and I know he's just trying to get a reaction.
You get better results when you treat them like people, because that's the way.
The way that I always say it is, you get more bees with honey, right?
You know, and he would go in and of course try to antagonize and do things, and what it did was I wanted to do something completely different, you know, and to go in and like, I don't care if Zach's listening right now, you know, you don't go in and really disrespect the property or the entities in a home like that. Some of those souls have been suffering forever, you know, and they don't need some punk ass kid running in and yelling stuff and challenging them and all that, you know. And I thought it was completely inappropriate, but I guess it's good for the lemmings. Yeah, I guess it's good for TV, and you know, what happens on our shoots, you know, and I wish the Devil's Tree was 15 times more interesting, but it is what it is, you know, and I can't make stuff happen, you know what I mean? But when we went in that house, if you watch Haunted Roots and you get to that second half, it's really a cool experience, you know. And me not being a paranormal investigator really at that time, like a rookie investigator who's got some time in and experiences and reading about stuff and explaining, you know, now it's a little bit different. But it was really just, you know, the perfect storm, you know, and the second half is a really cool story, you know, and there's Easter eggs all over that, and nobody ever says anything about the Easter eggs. We like tell the story and show little things that give away, but nobody ever really picks up on them. Somebody's like, "You made a mistake in this part in the interview," and I said, "No, slow it down." I said, "The girl asks where," you know, Will turns and goes to the girl, "Where do you think the truck comes from?" And then you see a flash, but if you hit pause, it's a flash of the house. And it tells you that the ghost truck originates from the farmhouse.
Right.
And there's little Easter eggs.
Don't give it away.
There's little Easter eggs all over that place. But I can tell you that was so hard to film. We had main characters pull out at the last second. People give interviews and call us a week later and say, you know, I don't want my boss to think I'm crazy. Can you just leave me out of the story? You know, we had the woman that lived there that had the most things happen to her, that had the cabinets open, that had the dryer open, that had the food out, that saw the lady, that saw the man in the hat who had lived there 25 years. She comes to the house and goes, looks at it and goes, "I'm not going in that damn place." And I was like, "Oh, okay, do you want to stand outside and do it?" You know? But she...
The hell was that?
No, I don't know. You just had a bunch of fireworks pop up.
You know what? And I'm telling you, and I just picked this up too. It's a piece of the tree I was going to show you.
The hell? That was
I just put my hand on that thing when those fireworks went off. But yeah, I have my little piece of the tree. And
I've never seen that on the StreamYard.
Me neither.
So I don't have control over that.
Dude, you got some powers.
But anyway, yeah, I wanted to celebrate this. Thank you. But anyway, yeah, it's just it's really interesting. I can't wait to work together, because when we work together, I'm going old school by myself. I'm not going to have an equipment, and I'm going to infrared myself and put myself in a dark room, and I'm going to do my thing. And then, like, we want to let you go crazy and capture everything you can: goggles, recordings, um, light bumps. I call them pucks, but light sensors, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I really want to see what you guys can do, all together. And just when you don't have to worry about filming, helps a lot too.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
focus
absolutely.
more on the
We could
investigation.
focus more on the investigation
Gosh,
side of
people are like, Matt,
God damn it, Mike! We don't have enough B-roll.
yeah,
it.
Matt, why don't you film when you hit golf balls? I said because it's a complete pain in the ass and waste of time. The same reason
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I don't know how to juggle a sand wedge and do tricks because I was too busy practicing and winning. I don't know how to do those tricks.
So
I'm working.
you got some interesting facts about you. Did you tell me that you like hold the record for the longest drive?
Man, yeah, in 2006, I was at the World Championship grid and I broke 220 miles an hour, which was, fast for them. Like, really one of the fastest one or two people at the time, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hit it 473 and
Wow.
Damn.
really started my career. I toured for 12 years
Okay.
and went all over the country, Canada, Sweden, Mexico, all types of places just hitting a golf ball. And
Very cool.
places I never thought I would be to. And, some of those places, you'd walk into those old clubhouses and you would feel uneasy and sometimes
Oh
you wouldn't.
yeah.
And I would get
Mm-hmm.
into places and I was like, I don't like this place, but
We did a show with Jesper Parnevik, a golf pro. Actually, his nanny was the one that Tiger Tiger Woods married, the blonde.
yes.
That was his nanny. So he has a reality show
In Sweden, yeah.
in Sweden on Amazon Prime. It's like a bucket list show. And one of their bucket lists was they wanted to investigate a place. So they called us and we ended up
filming with them and taking them out, and we turned Jasper from a skeptic to a believer.
He thought we were crazy when we first got there, and we were telling him like, "Oh, the reason why we brought you here is there's like been known to be a lot of shadow figures here." So he's like, "Come on, really?" So it was a little bit hot that evening. So like during the breaks, him and his wife would just sit in the air conditioning car, and his wife was like, "Jesper, I just saw a shadow figure," and he like looked at her, and then he saw it. So he had his first experience. So it's always cool when you can turn a skeptic into a believer.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing with Will. Will was like, went from there's no such thing to, this is possible now.
Yeah.
So and that's a cool what we have in production you call contrast, because everything about Will and I is contrast. He's younger, I'm older. He's thin, I'm heavy. I got dark hair. He's got reddish blonde hair. Like everything we do is different.
Right.
He doesn't believe in ghosts. I do. I do believe in paranormal and cryptozoology, and I believe there's something else beyond us that we don't know in out in UFO land. And he's kind of my contrast, and so that's why we do pretty well together when we work.
And you've made some appearances in some shows like The Walking Dead. I think you mentioned Ozarks.
Yes, I got to play some friends and some never any major characters, but I got to be on The Walking Dead, Ozark.
That's cool.
Cobra Kai, like Brockmire, and like a show called like Florida Girls, and did some independent films, like just random.
What's pretty cool is like when you first reached out to me, I had just started watching the seasons of Ozark, and I was like getting really into it. And then you called me like, I saw some pictures of you in it, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, it was
cool.
It was so much fun, but things change in those shows all the time. Like
yeah,
when I was on The Walking Dead, we actually filmed a scene that never aired where, after I got killed, I rolled. I guess I can say it now. I guess it's all over. So anyway, I get killed, right? My face blows up. I roll down a hill, right? So the savior that was burned by Carol later on in the season leans over my body and goes, "You sons of bitches," and runs down and starts trying to kick ass and gets killed, right? And so I found out that the actor that did that got killed in that scene, got written in to get injured or hurt or killed later on. And so my scene got cut. And then I got into another scene with Rick, Andy. And so that one I got to play a zombie corpse, right? And so I'm reanimating real fast, and he comes by and stabs me in the head, and then I die, and then that's the end of season 8, and then that gets cut too. And so like I worked 8 hours on a scene, all day, where most of it gets cut, and then the really cool ending got cut. And so I learned not to say that I'm going to be on any shows until it comes out, because I was like, I'm going to be on The Walking Dead, and then it turned into like 30 seconds of being there 11 days and filming tons of hours to condense.
Hold that thought for 1 second. I gotta get in compliant mode, and I'm sorry that I'm being so rude and interrupting, but
no
I just have to let everyone know that's on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network that you'll be moving on to the next show. And if you still want to tune in, you can listen and watch us on our War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. And then for our people on Facebook and War Party Paranormal YouTube channel that are watching us, check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. They got amazing shows, not only us. They have Bishop Long, who was on Ghost Adventures. They have MUFON. They have a show on there. They have other paranormal shows. They have shows on like spiritualism, all kinds of things. So if you're in the car, you can even listen to us on the radio if you missed a show. So yeah, check them out. They do have a special offer where you get a discount as well. How'd I do, Chanel? Wonderful. Okay, we can continue.
2 thumbs up. Awesome. So, man, when I was ring announcing, I had to do live commercials, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
And so I'd be ring announcing, and they would say, "Oh, yeah, by the way, so-and-so, here's the phone number, here's the address, go." And so you'd have to write a commercial, like in 15 seconds. And so I'd have to take the card with just the name and just hope I nailed it. So all of a sudden, I'd be saying, and before the next match starts, this next match is brought to you by the Computer Store and more for all your computer needs. Downtown, and I'd go into this whole damn thing, and and the guys would just go, "Well, how did you do that?" and stuff. I said, "Well, I'm an improv guy, and I love to write commercials and stuff, but don't ever hand me shit ever again right before the show starts. I need a little more time." And so next time I actually got to write the shows and stuff, but I remember just doing live commercials, and they're not easy, dude. So it's where that's going. So Eric, any live commercials, man, thumbs up.
Real quick to
are you guys
James,
going to do some live? So you guys ever do live commercials?
Yeah,
No,
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, before we got smart and said, you know what, let's make this into a video, and then we can just play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes the bloopers are the best part about the live.
Right.
Spots,
Well, my buddy James in the chat was supposed to be on Ghost Adventures, but only his dog aired. But I just want to let James know that you were on the Haunted Files, so you're quite the celebrity.
Yeah, that's way better.
And James is watching right now. We're listening.
Yeah, he's in Valdosta, Georgia. He crossed the line paranormal. That's
awesome. Hello to James. Thank you for watching and the support always, man.
Yep, and we got some team members here. We have Franny. She's one of our team members.
Awesome.
We got to mention Dan Tex too. He's one of our followers that's been supporting us for a long time. Super awesome guy.
Awesome guys.
Awesome.
Yep.
Haunting Angels. I believe they're in North Carolina. Oh, Brianna. I know Brianna. I investigated with her in St. Augustine, and I believe she's on James' team now. And since we're shouting out everyone, we got Catherine. You introduced me to Catherine, so I friended her on Instagram. So we've been
Hi,
talking
Catherine.
for a while.
Shout out to Catherine.
Who else can we give a shout out to that I forgot?
Were there any Walking Dead fans out there? Anybody?
Very Incognito. She's a big supporter.
Awesome.
Let me see. Any comments here? Oh, wait. There. I got to throw that up there.
Yeah. Do they have any questions? Does anybody have any questions about Haunted Roots or Cobra Kai or smoking cigarettes with Zabka on the curb or what, dude? Ralph Macchio's birthday party? What? Getting kissed getting kissed by Andy on set The Walking Dead? What do you guys want to talk about, man?
I love The Walking Dead, man. Big fan.
Stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, one time I was.
There you go. Bam.
Yeah.
There's your Walking Dead fan.
Oh, awesome. Hey, what does it say? What was the name?
Very Incognito.
All right. Awesome. Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Awesome. Thank you for the support.
So, Matt, we're at the end of our show. We did let everyone know that we're going to be collaborating together on something amazing. Any other things up and coming? Anything you want to share? It doesn't have to be paranormal. Maybe you're going to be on the world's longest drive contest. I don't know.
Yeah, man. If I'm trying to get, I had lost my Instagram account, and I used to have like 17,000 people following that we used to interact with and everything. And I lost my Instagram account, so I started over. So if anybody wants to follow me, that would be awesome. And I usually, if you're paranormal and stuff, I follow you back. And if I don't,
Vilade experiment, right?
Yeah,
Vilade experiment.
The Vilade experience, yeah.
Vilade. I'm sorry. Why didn't you tell me I was pronouncing your name wrong?
I don't know, because Vilade seems really high end. So like,
no, dude, man, don't discount yourself. Take what you can get.
On the east side, and then that's the New Jersey Vilade,
Vilade.
So the high ends, they say Vilade.
Say my last name. Say my last name.
Vanderlaan.
Vanderlaan.
Wait, isn't that Hawaiian?
No, it's Dutch. But I was born in Hawaii, but I'm not Hawaiian. That's pretty cool that you said that.
So and Mike, you were from Florida?
I am. Yep.
All right. Awesome, man. We won't hold that against you, man.
Yeah, I know. My whole family's from up north, New Jersey, New York. That's Italian last name.
So yeah, I was born in New Jersey, born and raised West Philadelphia. Where I spent most
West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days.
And I was a janitor.
Going out maxing, relaxing, all cool, and shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
After that, I was I spent a long time as a janitor at a school, and I like to go around and put equations and solve them on the boards in the middle of the night at the school. I did that for a while, and then I found a pair of shoes, and they made me magic, and I got to play in the NBA for season.
You're like 6'7", right?
What else? Yeah, and that magical bike I found in the Alamo, San Antonio basement.
There you go. Interesting facts to know.
So I don't have much to say. There's so much weird crap that's happened in my life that people say there's no way that happened. So I actually had to put pictures up on Instagram because I was like, yeah, I had lunch with George Brett yesterday, and people are like, no, you're not. Shut your stupid mouth. And I'm like, all right, I guess I have to. I guess today you just have to prove it. I guess you have to have a picture it didn't exist or something like that, Right. But, and I'm going to tell you, at one point in time, I was hitting golf balls 500 yards.
Damn,
500.
dude.
I was doing exhibitions.
I'm lucky if I even connect with the ball and I don't hit the fucking grass.
I gotta play my slice, so I gotta aim to the left.
There was no cameras, so nobody believes anything you say. I was like, I was there and I drove that hole in front of 200 people, and then they're like, oh, bullshit, it's not on Instagram. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe next time, I don't have a time machine, but it really happens. But,
Right.
So I actually had a private account the second time around because, I wasn't really doing any work. My wife had gotten ill and stuff, and I was just kind of chilling out on the social media, but now I'm back and I would love to have anybody follow me at the Vilade Experience, and I'll follow you back, especially if you're paranormal or whatever. I usually follow people back that are interesting as well.
Awesome.
Right.
So yeah, go ahead and check him out, and then don't forget to check out his episode on Paraflix, Haunted Roots. And for me, guys, if you want to check out anything that's up and coming and happening with me, you can find all my socials at my website, FLA paranormalresearcher.com, and obviously warpartyparanormal.com. It'll show all our upcoming events and different things we got going on. There's links to our Paraflix there as well. And Eric, what else we got coming up?
Well, we had an amazing event last Saturday. Everybody was happy. Got some good comments, some good reviews, so that's always good. So if you missed that event and you're local, don't worry, because we got one this Friday at the Old Davies Schoolhouse Museum. And that's going to be this Friday at 8 p.m. If you go to the Old Davies Schoolhouse Museum.org, you can purchase your tickets. And actually, they're having two. They're having like a ghost tour, like a ghost walk through town. And it's sort of like a comic type thing. They have comedians that do it. And then once they're done, then we do the full out investigation with us. And you get to investigate the school and also two historical buildings that were once going to be demolished. And they moved them to the school's location and restored them. And all three buildings have activity. It's pretty insane. I mean, the last event, one of our guests got like a full body apparition on her camera, on her phone camera. And I went back there the next time and tried to debunk it, and I couldn't. I mean, it was just wild. It would look like an old lady with white hair with a black dress on. It was just really wild.
Well, we had a really wild experience real quick. I'm going to throw out there at our last event at Yesteryear Village. We wanted to do a Delco experiment, with the goggles and sensory deprivation with basically like an Estes method. And there's an old church there. And I just grabbed somebody out of the crowd, said, who wants to be our sacrificial lamb, and puts the goggles on and try it. And this young girl, super nice, she jumped up there and volunteered. And during the session, she was saying a lot of things that didn't pertain to the location. And we were kind of like confused on what she was talking about, but she kept saying a name. And I don't want to give too much information because it's kind of personal to the other guests that were there, but she kept saying a name. She said a date. She said 2020. She said the 7th, and she kept repeating these things. And then she was like saying poolside, the beach. So it didn't seem like an old soul. It seemed like something kind of like somebody new, right? And then we noticed one of our other guests started tearing up and started crying a little bit and had to walk out. And then she came back in and said, well, the name that she was saying was my ex-girlfriend that died in 2020 and on the 7th of May or whatever it was. And, everything that she said pertained to my ex-girlfriend.
Said her name too, right?
Yeah. A bunch of times.
That's wild.
So very, very wild stuff that went on that night as well. So,
man, I have to join you at some point.
I told you, dude, you come down here, we'll investigate.
All right. Yeah. Like, one night when you have something going on,
yeah, the next time we have a private investigation, we'll reach out to you
for sure.
I would love to come down and Fort Lauderdale area, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And just so you guys know too, the lady that had her ex-girlfriend that passed in 2020 about and all this stuff lined up, she wasn't crying because she was sad. She was just more emotional that everything was tying together, and she wasn't upset. She was actually happy that the person was at peace. So it was really, really comforting, and she was just overwhelmed with emotion. So very neat stuff.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people forget when you're dealing with the paranormal that you are dealing with, when you walk into people's homes, you are dealing with family, relatives, daughters, cousins, great grandmothers, and something. And a lot of people just forget, and it's really, our job, like I was saying before about the guys that go in and yell and bully and taunt and stuff. I just think it's super disrespectful.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Especially if the family is there or is going to watch it or something.
Yeah. Well, we do residential cases, so
yeah,
it's a whole different ball game when you do that.
Yeah, are people contacting you all to find
That's
out
why
information or
that's
sometimes
why
what
we
happened in a
yeah,
murder
that
or foul
that's
play? I
our
think.
that's our main purpose is to help people who have issues with the paranormal. And one of the ways we get the word out about what we do is through our events. So actually, we get people who will come to our event and check us out first. And then later on that night, they'll be like, you'll never believe what's going on in my house.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, yes, not us personally, but we've had our psychic medium had worked with police and stuff before.
That's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes, you know, we were up there, and there's speculation that people were killed and hung and all that stuff in that area, and slaves were buried, and that's actually like the mega bowl that they had Indians there, Lenape Indians throughout where that
Mhm.
farm is. They were finding arrowheads and skulls and everything all the way through hundreds and hundreds of years of history right on that property. And
Right.
we were getting things that people were hurt and killed,
Mhm.
and there was a possible portal there, women being beaten in the house, things like that we were listening to and picking up, and so it's not always pleasant stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
correct.
can imagine doing a residential and something coming back that was
Sometimes it's something that's good. It's
foul
not
play.
necessarily have to be
Um,
bad. They just don't understand what's going on.
yeah. You have to take me with you one time if you can. I would love to join you and just be
Yeah.
a fly on the wall or hang out or if I
Yeah,
find
for sure.
something, because a
I'll
lot
let
of
you know.
a lot of the times I just get energy.
Yeah.
Just get that energy, and I know something's happening, but I just can't pick it up and harness it. Maybe if somebody taught me,
But don't worry, I'll hook something up.
So
And so if people want to follow me, you can follow me at Ghost Hunter of South Florida on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Also, maybe Mike mentioned it, but everything's linked to warpartyparanormal.com. So check us out. Check out the new Haunted Files episodes coming out the 19th. If you haven't seen the old South Pittsburgh Hospital that was just released, go check that out.
We got a lot of great feedback from people. People love that one. So
Yeah.
it's streaming. It's still streaming. It's out there. And then so that's gonna wrap it up for tonight, guys. Matt, we really appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk soon.
I can't wait to hook up and get some work done and put out some programming and some investigations for the Paraflix family and everybody watching and
Hell
listening.
yeah. And last but not least, I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight to our show, and we'll see you next Monday. Keep it spooky.